I can't really believe that this is where we're at. But we get to this place where I just we get to this place and I wasn't really sure how I wanted to approach this. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to uh what I wanted to do, but I come across I come across this, right? And this is the this is so if you're not following the drama, cuz I wasn't, I was busy leading a normal life. Um if you weren't paying attention, we have this we have these content creators. I'm hearing different names. The only place I could find this was on a Twitter called Molly Damon. And I find this I find this because it's been all over the place. I've been watching this for the better part of a week easily. And it gets to a point where these content creators start putting out this campaign, and I'm gonna read the entire thing because I am literally befuddled at um at at this whole thing. Right, this whole thing is is just hilarious to me. So we have these content creators that put this thing out, right? And in this, it is basically addressed to the YouTube team. So we're going to go ahead and go through this real quick. Dear YouTube, dear Team YouTube, last week, actor Amandla Steinberg, they, why that needed to be put in there is beyond me, posted candid comments to Instagram about the rampage of bigotry and vitriol that she has received since leading the cast of The Acolyte, the latest addition to the Star Wars universe. Amandla's experience is not new. In fact, this known tactic was initially provoked by former Breitbart news editor Milo. I'm gonna fuck that up, so I'm not even gonna say it. Who aggressively targeted Ghostbuster actor Leslie Jones under the guise of film criticism. After prolonged insults against her Ghostbusters character resulted in harassment against Jones on Twitter, Milo claimed Jones was playing the victim when she called for action against the harassment. The aggressive gaslighting of Jones's experience resulted in Milo being banned from Twitter. 8 years later, Milo's playbook against marginalized actors has I can't read that. I can't read that word on this screen. Into multi-million dollar business on YouTube, which has been permitted to develop unchecked with the help of YouTube Partners program. This playbook's biggest target, Star Wars. I don't think that's the biggest target, but okay. As fans of the Star Wars franchise, we have tirelessly witnessed a handful of YouTube creators continuously drive prolonged insults and harassment against marginalized actors, members of our community. Enough is enough. The Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against prolonged insults and inciting of targeted harassment towards women of color by demonetizing YouTube channels named Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kennels, RK Outpost, and Nerdtronics. Okay, interesting that's the start. Okay, so let's dive more into it. And that was just their intro. So that's what they're asking for. The facts. In 2018, Geeks and Gamers has a very high sub count, 396,000. Encouraged harassment against Vietnamese American actor Kelly Marie Tran, leading up to Tran's departure from Instagram due to prolonged harassment. Geeks and Gamers published nearly 15 videos relevant to trans Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi's character, Rose Tico. The channel claimed that trans character is one of the most hideous characters of all time, the most unlikable characters ever, and exists for forced diversity. Many of the comments found in Geeks and Gamers videos can be seen hateful comments under trans now deleted Instagram post. Geeks and Gamers championed RK Outpost, 319,000 subscribers. Wow, way to go. A channel that frequently targets marginalized actors, including Moses Ingram, a black American cast member in the TV show Kenobi, days before Instagram called out racism backlash against her on Instagram. RK Outpost called Instagram a lunatic. Called I don't know why it says Instagram. Called Ingram a lunatic who can do nothing other than play the victim. RK Outpost was recently referred on Ingram's Kenobi character Reva as dumb and okay. Let's see. Geeks and Gamers and RK Outpost frequently co-host the live stream Friday Night Tights on Nerdtronic's YouTube channel, 1.1 million. Congratulations. Where the three channels have made profitable business reusing prolonged insults against marginalized actors featured in Star Wars, Captain Marvel, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, to name a few. Amanda is the current target of YouTube-based operation. Together, Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, and Nerdtronic have led the charge against Amanda even before the release of The Acolyte, producing nearly 40 relevant to Amanda and The Acolyte since May. These channels have asserted that Amanda is vapid and narcissistic, the adult pretender, dumb, a half black bitch for defending herself against racism. These channels have gaslit Amanda by claiming she's playing the victim card, with RK Outpost proclaiming you've never been oppressed in your goddamn life, you bitch. These YouTubers also use racist dog whistles, including angry black women stereotypes. The hate campaign against Amanda has been so profitable that other major YouTubers have joined the attack on Amanda, including Star Wars Theory, 3.3 million subscribers. How many more good faith content creators will turn to profitable hate campaigns if this behavior is permitted to continue with no repercussion? Okay. Interesting. Let's keep going. The action required. The Star Wars fandom refuses to watch another marginalized actor be singled out by prolonged racist harassment from a handful of YouTubers as a result of YouTube's inaction, which has transformed hate into a lucrative career path. It is concerning to us that targeting marginalized actors and other social media platforms has historically resulted in platform bans, whereas the same behavior has made provocateurs millions on YouTube. They should be highly concerned to advertisers as well. This should be highly concerning to advertisers as well. We understand that YouTube has an important role to play in promoting free speech. However, content uploaded by Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, Nerdtronics is not opinion or criticism. It is prolonged targeted harassment against women of color. We urge YouTube to enforce its community guidelines and demonetize these channels immediately and permanently. Thank you. May the force be with you. Okay. So let's talk about this for a minute. So, reading over this, let's go through a couple things first. So, number one, these channels, Geeks and Gamers, RK Outpost, Nerdtronics, Star Wars Theory, and so on and so forth. Number one, these channels have every right to exist. Now, you may not agree with them. I may not agree with them. But they have every right to exist in the country that we currently reside in, which is the United States of America, has a free speech in our Constitution. Now, if you live in another part of the world, if you live in another country, then you may not be so fortunate to have this freedom of speech, right? If you live in countries that censor you, and now there's countries that are censoring you for just posting stuff on Instagram and Twitter and such, as we've seen lately in the UK. So I want to get into this a little more. Number one, these guys have every right to say whatever they want. They're not inciting violence against these people, right? Not that I've seen or heard of. There's nobody saying that you should go, throw paint on any of these actors or their property or their cars or anything. All these people are saying is their opinion, is what they think. And the last time I checked in this country, that is very much legal. That is very much they have every right to do so. They're not inciting violence. They're giving their opinion. They're bouncing between each other and giving each other's opinion. Whether they cut and copy each other's videos, whether they cut and copy each other's idea, whether they run the same playbook, that doesn't matter, right? I've said it on this channel for a very, very long time that the negative voice on YouTube or social media will always drive further and longer than any positivity you could bring onto YouTube. Aside from being a major celebrity like Ronaldo, like Gordon Ramsay, like all of these people that do amazing, wonderful things with their social media platform, and great. I have no doubt that these people are very much the same way to their fans, to people who go out to appreciate them, right? And in that regard, do you, right? It's hard for me to just come out and say, that what these people are posting, that posting this is right. I mean, honestly, at this point, you have literally you have literally become the thing you have been talking about negatively for so long. At this point, the shills, being the people that put this out, that are a part of this whole thing that's going on here, you are now part of that problem, and you are now part of the grift, right? You are no longer, I mean, honestly, there should be a new term, because these people are hunting personal outrage. Some of them aren't even grifters. Some of this is an act, right? Some of this is just these people having a good time and doing their thing, right? Some of this is just an act, and these people don't always believe everything that they put out there. But even if they believe every ounce of it, who are you to tell them what to post on their channels? I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you don't like what I have to say, there's the door, right? Get out. If you don't like what's going on here, if you don't like too much positivity, if you don't like that I enjoy my Star Wars, there's the door, dude. Get the fuck out. But if you want to be here, you want to hear my lively, positive opinion, then great, stay, enjoy. And the same thing goes on these bigger channels. If you're hating on Ryan Kennel and RK Outpost, and you're hating on Geeks and Gamers, and you're hating on Nerdtronics, and you're hating on Star Wars Theory, which I do often, but not for anything other than things that he says about Star Wars that I don't agree in. He could be like the nicest person in the world. I watched him buy his friend a $3,000 comic book, right? He's probably a great person. We just don't agree on Star Wars. We don't agree on how I treat my fans and how he treats his, right? It's not a matter of these awful people. If you don't like what they have to say, don't watch. I haven't watched a Star Wars Theory stream since well before Josh left Nerd Theory, right? And that's my prerogative. Do I hear what he says sometimes? Sure. Do I see the thumbnails of stuff he's putting out? Absolutely. But do I go watch it? No, because I don't want to go listen to it. So why can't these people just do the same thing? No, they had to go to the teacher and they had to tattle and they had to try to get these people canceled. But instead, it's backfiring because more people are pissed at them than are pissed at the geeks and gamers that are doing what they do. This is what they do. Let them do what they do. Right? And I know already, Brandon, I know basically YouTube has already told them to shut up. I've seen all the thumbnails. I'm just going through the order, just going down the batting order on this whole story. And so, yes, Brandon, thank you for replying. YouTube replied and told Molly to basically stop complaining. It's somebody else's opinion, which is exactly what it is. So, it's not just Molly. It's some other people. It's Star Wars Explained, and there's some other people involved. I don't know all who. I don't surround myself in those circles. All I know is I'm a shill. I don't pretend to be anything other. I tend to find the positive in all of this, and I definitely don't want the people that don't like Star Wars to have their voices shuttered, right? To have them silenced. I may not agree with you. I may not think that your ideas are correct. I may not, but I still respect your ability to have that opinion, right? And you may think my opinion is stupid, and I may think your opinion is stupid. But that doesn't mean that I want you shut down, that I want you canceled. Like, that's just foolish, right? That doesn't make any sense. And so I hadn't decided if I wanted to go into this, but this is Kitty's telling the teacher. And I just can't get behind it. And I wish that these people would rethink things a little bit, because this is no different than than these guys wanting to cancel Amandala and Moses and all these other actors that they don't believe are doing a good job. This is no difference in wanting them canceled. You're wanting them canceled. So literally, you've become the thing you promised not to become. You became the thing you swore to defend. You are no longer defending. And so it is unfortunate, and I am, not that I watch a lot of these creators anyway, but, you know, good for the geeks and gamers, good for Nerdtronics, good for Ryan Kennel, good for these guys, because these guys have done nothing wrong. And if you don't like it, make a video about how you don't like it. Then maybe your people that believe in you will come and watch that, and you'll gain the same amount of success.